Welcome to my stainless pulling series where I show you how stainless likes to move and how to move with it. So for today's experiment, I'm going to weld a fillet around this tubing. This is 065 wall and 18 gauge stainless. When I weld something like this, especially if I don't want to warp the flange, I will often break up the fillet weld into quarters. So either 2 quarters, let it cool to about 4 seconds on the back of the hand where I can touch it for that long, or I'll do 8s if I'm really worried about it warping. So in this case, that works really well, but I wanted to show you how the heat actually affects something on really thin material. So this one, I'm going to weld the entire thing all the way through without any cool time. This one, I'm going to do 2 quarters, let it cool to about 4 seconds, touch on the back of the hand, and then finish it. And then this one, I'm going to do the same, except I'm going to let it completely cool. So let's see what happens. All right, tacky. I tried tacking as even as I could, and here I show you how even I got. Though this is the cool to cold coupon, I thought this was the no cooling coupon, so I welded it all the way through, then burned my Sharpie, rewrote the other one, put the cool to cold aside, welded the cool to warm. I did wait until the cool to warm was still a little warm on the back of my hand, and the cool to cold was definitely cold before I welded it. Here I tried seeing if there's any changes in the size of the tubing, and there really wasn't. All right, so the results. So obviously the no cooling is a lot more warped versus the cool to warm in the middle and the cool to cool. There's not too much difference between these two, the cool to cool and cool to warm, but you can tell that this one's just slightly less warped on the actual sheet metal, and it's just a little bit straighter as far as the tubing sticking up. Now this weld definitely was just slightly a little bit colder than the other two. Obviously letting it fully cool helps. So to show you the inside, you can see a little bit of sugar just starting, a little bit of gray. Backside does have one weld that sugared through, and cool to warm, a little bit more gray if you can see it. And definitely pierced through on 2 places on this one. And this one, I didn't really, there's a little bit of sugar on the inside if you can see it, and the back side definitely punctured through in a couple spots. So now that I see this, anything thin gauge, I'm going to stick to cool, letting it cool all the way before I continue on. For things like this where the flange is definitely more of a heat sink than this thick wall ferrule, I'm going to stick to a cool to warm because I want the temp of this flange to be a little bit warm, so it kind of helps match when these two are melting together. So hope that was interesting to you, and let me know what you think.